back to the Black and Gold Standard podcast. And on today's episode, I just want to talk about the championship games that was played on Sunday. Um, just watching those games, man, I really got depressed. It really depressed me as far as looking at those teams and just really seeing how far the Pittsburgh Steelers are away from competing on that level. And the first thing that stands out is quarterback play. And that's not a big surprise. But also not even so much of the quarterback play. It was just the coaching. The coaching, the offensive schemes, those type things. And I know part of that, at least the scheme, is probably gonna go hand in hand with your quarterback. You only can do what you can do with the pieces that you have, but I just look at the schemes that these teams were running, the type of offense, and the Steelers are just so far away right now. Even on the defense, where you would think, and really the Steelers should be just as good as those teams, for what they're paying. But even on the defense, I mean, I watched in the AFC Championship game. It was a 3rd and 5 or something like that. And I mean, Kansas City came with a elaborate blitz that Buffalo probably had never seen, didn't see on film, and ended up making Josh Allen um, hurry his throw, and you just don't see that with Pittsburgh. I mean, everything is just so basic. Everything is so basic, and usually with the Steelers, let's just keep it real. In those type situations, it seems like the other team have a guy standing there wide open. So just just a little depressing. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles for doing what they had to do to get to the Super Bowl. So kind of wanted to see some new blood in there as far as on the AFC side, but we'll have to deal with what we got. It should be a good game though. So what I want to get into today is kind of what I was talking about is quarterbacks. I mean, everybody talk about the quarterback play and what's needed as a quarterback. So what I wanted to do, I did tiers of quarterbacks. So what I did, and you're gonna see, I have super elite, I have elite, I have very good, I have good, and I have average, and I got below the line. And you will see some of the guys, like if you see a guy and let's say he's good, but it is a equal sign. Well, that equal sign means that he's pretty much in plateau. I mean, he's not getting at this point in his career, not really getting worse, but probably won't really get no better than what he's showing right now. And obviously, if the arrow is going up, that means that person has a chance to get to that next tier. And if you see the arrow going down, that means that obviously they're going down a tier. And a lot of that is mostly due to age or injury or something like that. But I think it's a fun activity, and we'll see where the Steelers quarterbacks kind of land on this. So with that said, let's get to it here. All right. So starting off, super elite class. Um, I'm just gonna be honest. I only got one guy in this class, and right now that's Patrick Mahomes. Um, I mean, if you look at his numbers, look what he's been able to do, and he's not even 30 years old yet. Got a chance to three-peat as Super Bowl champions, which has never been done in the NFL. But I also think at this point, um, I don't know how much better he really could get than what he's doing now. But I also don't see him slipping. I don't sleep. I don't see his skill level slipping any. So right now, I kind of got him, just equal. I got him even. That I think he's just gonna maintain this level of play that he's doing right now, which is great. But like I say, I really can't see him getting too much better, but he's definitely not slipping. All right, so now we're gonna go to the elite class and Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is actually arrow is going up, and I think he can get to that um super elite. And but the thing with him is going to be once they kind of figure out what they're going to do with T. Higgins, they're going to lose him, or can they get somebody else in there to replace him? The one thing I will say about Joe Burrow, and it's nothing wrong with this. In college and in Cincinnati, he's been surrounded by great receivers. And to be honest, I mean that's part of putting a quarterback in that elite status is having great talent around you. I mean, except for Patrick Mahomes, maybe. I mean, he has good talent, but not not like what Joe Burrow have. But also, it ain't just the talent; it's also the coaching. You have a good offensive coordinator, good person that's making up offensive schemes. That's important too. So I would say right now, Joe Burrow is in that elite class with an arrow is going up. Josh Allen, I think same thing with Josh Allen. I think he's in that elite class, and I think his arrow is actually going up. So I think Josh Allen can actually get better. And you got to really think about it. He don't have no weapons. I mean, no major weapons around him. I mean, his receivers are. I mean, the only person you really know is Amari Cooper. He's 30 years old right now, but he's been able to elevate, and that's what great quarterbacks do. They're going to elevate the talent around them, and he has that ability to do that. And I believe that his arrow is going up, and he could go into that next class. Lamar Lamar Jackson, elite. I think he's in the elite class, but I also think the numbers and the year that he had this year, the season he had this year, I don't see him really getting better than that. I think at this point, Lamar is what he is. Again, I don't see no slippage in his play. So, I think right now he's just, where he's at now is probably where he's going to be for his career until he start getting slippage and maybe start going down a notch. But right now, I think he's solid, and Lamar just needs to get it done in the playoffs, and a lot of it not his fault. But at the end of the day, the quarterback gonna get all the credit, or unfortunately, he's gonna get all the blame. Okay, so that was it for the elite class. Now let's go into the very good class. Now these are guys that actually could move their play up and they could get into that elite class. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash on this one. To me, Justin Herbert is a very good quarterback. He had 23 touchdowns with 3 picks this year. But I know in the playoffs he had like 4 interceptions or something. Just that playoff game was a disaster for them as a whole. But this is another guy that's not doing it with big time talent around him. Um, this was the first year in John Harbaugh's offense, which, to be honest, is not going to be an offense that he's gonna get a whole bunch of opportunities. But he should have solid numbers. He can move. He got the mobility. He's a guy that with the good coaching that I think he's getting now, And once they get a little bit more infusion of talent on that offensive side, I can see him moving up to the elite class. I mean, he's a good quarterback to me. And I know a lot of people probably won't look that say that, but I don't know how many teams that if they had a chance to get Justin Herbert would turn it down. Jalen Daniels, I think I mean from 1 year he played very good. I'm putting him in a very good class, and I don't think um he's quite right there being an elite quarterback, but he's on the way. My only concern with him is, man, he's so frail looking. I don't know if a good shot is gonna put him out, but very talented player. Um, did some major things this year. Um, got one of those slingshot arms, and I think he's definitely arrow is pointing up, and maybe in a year or 2 years he can find his way into that elite class. Okay, I'm probably gonna catch some heat about this one too. Um, to me, and like I say, this is more my opinion. I think Matthew Stafford is a very good quarterback. I know he's a little bit on the old side, and as you can see, his arrow is going down, and that's partly because of age, but um, people don't forget it could have easily not been the Philadelphia Eagles playing yesterday. The Rams were driving to take the lead in that game late in that game. I'm talking about maybe like the last 2 minutes or so. And our old friend Kevin Dotson decided not to block Brown and I mean Carter, and that ended the game. But Matthew Stafford, I mean, he's a baller. I mean, he's actually the first one. I mean, Mahomes does it, but he's really the first one that I've ever seen doing the no look passes. Um, Stafford is a good guy, and I remember when it was when Detroit was talking about trading him, I wanted him to come to Pittsburgh. And a lot of people was like, "Ah, nah, he's old and this," but it's just unfortunate he kind of got stuck. He been most of his career in Detroit, but I just believe Matthew Stafford is a very good quarterback. All right, so this is our good class, and these are guys I think are actually really on the verge of going up to the very good class, and that's Jordan Love. Jordan Love, he's that type quarterback that I think LaFleur he doesn't get credit, but he's a very good offensive mind. And I almost think he could take any quarterback and he's going to really get the most out of them. And I think that's what he's done with Jordan Love. I think the injury bug a little bit kind of he got to kind of had to get over that a little bit, but I see his arrows going up. He has he has a good defense and a solid defense. Very good offensive tools around him and a good system. So I can definitely see him elevating his game. All right, C.J. Stroud again, kind of came down to earth last year. From last year, kind of struggled this year, but injuries, with his receivers and kind of had that second year jinx a little bit. But also, I think he's a guy. Well, they just fired a offensive coordinator, so we'll see how that go. But I think he's a guy that the arrow is definitely going up with him. If he just can keep his weapons healthy for a whole year, That would go a long way with him. But I think his arrow is going up, and I could see him maybe taking that next step into being a very good quarterback. Jared Goff, I think right now he's in that good class, but I think he's about even. I think he's plateaued. I don't really think you're gonna get a better year than what you got out of him this year, and I really don't see that he's slipping. But I think he's about where he's at right now. It'll be a challenge. He lost his offensive coordinator, so we'll see who they get to replace Ben Johnson and see if they can keep that going. But I think right now, Jared Goff is he's in that good class. He's a guy that definitely needs the weapons around him, and definitely needs to have the good system around him. But when you fortunate enough to be in that, he can produce. Jalen Hurts, I think the same thing with him. Good quarterback. He's in that right system. He got the weapons around him. He got the running game around him. He's in the Super Bowl, so I don't really see him slipping right now. But then also, I really don't think he's. I think he's about where he's going to be in his career. But he's definitely in that good class. Um, as long as they keep that offensive line going and keep those weapons, he's going to be a decent quarterback. I think Dak Prescott. Now this one I could kind of argue with myself. His arrow actually could be going down. I probably should have put his arrow going down because Dak main problem is health, and right now he can't stay healthy. And then the Cowboys to me is just a mess. So I'm gonna really say Dak probably should have definitely had an arrow down, but he's still in that good class. But his arrow probably actually could have been going down. Brock Purdy, same thing with him. I think he's in that good class. He was in the Super Bowl, but again, he's in a good offensive system. He actually has weapons, very good weapons around him, but everybody got hurt. So it kind of showed when he didn't really have those weapons. He was kind of didn't have a good year, and so to me, I kind of think that kind of what you see from him is what he is. I don't really see him. He actually, I think he's probably gonna live in this class here. I don't know if he can jump up to the next class, but he definitely need all his weapons and to keep that system. So I think this might be a guy that actually where he's at, that's probably where he's gonna be. All right, so this is my average class. These are guys that I think can easily jump up to the good quarterback class. And I got Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray, Bo Nix, um, Kay Williams, Tua, Bryce Young, Drake May, Justin Fields, and Michael Penix. So I think a lot of these guys, some of them is health. Actually, you got all the rookies, the rookie quarterbacks that just need another year to really see what those guys are about. Like a guy like Penix really didn't play into the end of the year. Justin Fields, he was actually looking good, and we'll see what he's going to do eventually whenever he settles for settle down and get his team and I'm assuming he's probably going to still be a Pittsburgh Steelers, which to me, I like it as a Steeler fan, but again, I just don't know. I can't see Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin developing the quarterback. But we'll see what happens there. Williams, now he has a great offensive coordinator that's going to be around him, so if they can fix that offensive line, he's going to do some great things. Bo Nix, he's with a big time offensive coordinator type head coach, quarterback coach that's gonna really help his development. Trevor Lawrence got all the tools, just bad offensive scheme, bad coaching. So they got a new coach. So we're gonna see what's gonna go on there. So we will see with this class. But I think everybody in this class still have an opportunity to jump up to the next class. Okay, these are the guys, average guys that I think they're pretty much where they're gonna be. They're not really slipping yet, but they're definitely not going up to the next level. And that's Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith, and Sam Darnold. I think what they are is what they are right now. This is the average class, but these guys are slipping, and most of these guys are slipping in this class. It's age. So you got Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins. It's age. I mean, they can still play. They can still throw the ball, but Father Time is undefeated. But with that said, if you get these guys in the right system and get everything that's perfectly around them, they still can win some games in this league. They not all the way. Their career is not all the way done yet, but they're on the decline. And then these are the below the line guys, and obviously, if you look at the draft, most of these teams are picking top five. So if you got any of these quarterbacks, then you in big trouble. And that's Will Levis, Anthony Richardson. I'm willing to say right now, Anthony Richardson is a bust. Aiden O'Connell, Deshaun Watson. So any of these guys that you call your starting quarterback, you in big trouble. So that's it for right now. When we come back, we're going to be, jumping into that mock draft and see what the Steelers are going to do with the mock draft. But I think actually before I do the mock draft, I want to kind of project free agency, at least what I think the Steelers should do, because that's going to really affect the mock draft. So we'll be getting into that. Long off season, and we'll have a lot of stuff coming down the pipe with that. And I guess that's really pretty much it for right now. So you take care, and I will talk to you later.